Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Kevin Owens has named the person who helped him get noticed by WWE. He revealed that he received a call from the company after meeting William Regal. The SmackDown star made a name for himself in the Indies before signing with the wrestling juggernaut. He won the NXT Championship in his third televised match at TakeOver, Rival in 2015 by defeating Sami Zayn. In 2016, he finally captured a world title on the main roster after becoming the second-ever Universal Champion. During a recent interview with Chris Van Vliet, Kevin Owens recalled William Regal watching his match in person at an indie event and speaking to him afterward. He ended up getting contacted by WWE for a tryout. "I had accepted that it probably wasn't going to happen, joining WWE, and I was really okay with it until it became a possibility. I remember Super Dragon messaged me saying William Regal is coming to Bola, Battle of Los Angeles. And from that, as soon as he said that, I was like, everything shifted. I'm like, oh, that's it, so I'm like, maybe this is my chance, you know? So I had the match with Johnny Gargano at Battle of Los Angeles. We rocked the house. We came back, Regal told us we had a really great match, congratulated us, gave us a bit of advice, which was really, really great to see," said Kevin Owens. "And then I remember he left, and I was like, well, if it leads to something, great. But if not, just the kind words he had for me, I was like, this is just a career highlight for me." And then, like a week later, Sarah Del Rey, who was a trainer at WWE at that time, messaged me saying, "Would you have interest in coming in for a tryout?" And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So then, it actually took quite a while to get it. 21:45 to 24:48. Kevin Owens is currently out of action due to injury. Kevin Owens was scheduled to take on Randy Orton at WrestleMania 41, but he suffered an injury and the bout was cancelled. He announced the injury last week on SmackDown, and he seemed very emotional. The Viper came out and RKO'd Nick Aldis. This will be addressed tonight on SmackDown, and Randy Orton will probably get a new opponent for the show of shows. He and Kevin Owens might face each other at a later date. In a moment of rare vulnerability, Kevin Owens sat across from Corey Graves on the latest episode of After the Bell, his eyes flickering with a mixture of gratitude and nostalgia. It was a question Owens had been asked hundreds of times before: who helped you get your big break in WWE? But tonight, with the cameras rolling and the wrestling world watching, he decided to finally give a full answer. "It's not just one person," Owens started, leaning forward, forearms resting on his knees. "But there is one guy, one legend, who stuck his neck out for me when it wasn't the popular thing to do." The name he spoke next sent shockwaves through the WWE universe. Stone Cold Steve Austin. The revelation hit hard. Social media erupted instantly. #Kevin Owens #Stone Cold trended worldwide within minutes, fans and wrestlers alike chiming in with disbelief and admiration. But for Owens, it wasn't about headlines. It was about finally giving credit where it was long overdue. Owens recounted the story with vivid detail, his words painting a picture of a young, hungry wrestler fighting for a chance to be seen. "It was back in 2013, Owens explained. "I was doing my thing on the indie scene, grinding every weekend, trying to make noise. I knew people were watching, but I always felt like I didn't fit the mold. I wasn't the typical WWE look, you know? I heard it a lot, too rugged. Not the right body type. But I knew what I brought to the table." What Owens didn't know at the time was that someone had been watching more closely than he realized. During an appearance at an independent show in Texas, where Owens was scheduled to main event against a fellow indie standout, Stone Cold Steve Austin happened to be in the audience. Not as a scout. Not even as an official guest. Austin was simply there to watch the next generation of wrestlers tear the house down. "I didn't know he was there," Owens admitted with a chuckle. "Honestly, it's probably a good thing. If I'd known Stone Cold himself was sitting in the crowd, I might have lost my mind." According to Owens, the match that night was brutal and unrelenting, a showcase of grit, passion, and raw intensity. It was the kind of fight that left both men bruised and bloodied, but with the crowd on their feet. What Owens didn't expect was for Austin to approach him backstage afterward. "He came up to me with that serious look," Owens recalled, flashing a small smile. "You know the one. Like he's about to raise hell. He just said, 'Kid, you've got it. Don't let anyone tell you different.'" Those words stuck with Owens like a permanent tattoo. But Austin didn't stop there. What followed was a behind-the-scenes push that Owens only learned about much later. As it turns out, Stone Cold had made a few calls. He spoke to Triple H, who was then overseeing NXT's growth and scouting future talent. Austin vouched not only for Owens' in-ring ability but also for his unmatched work ethic and his undeniable connection with the audience. "Steve didn't have to do that," Owens said, emotion thick in his voice. "He owed me nothing. I wasn't his student. I wasn't his protege. I was just a guy trying to make it. But he believed in me. And in this business, belief from the right person can change everything." Triple H, in later interviews, confirmed that Austin's recommendation carried significant weight. "Steve called me and said, 'You need to look at this kid, Kevin Owens,'" Triple H once recalled. "When Steve Austin speaks, you listen. He's not the kind of guy to throw out praise lightly." Within months, Owens was invited to a private tryout at the Performance Center. The rest, as they say, is history. He was signed to NXT, where he quickly rose through the ranks, capturing the NXT Championship and making an immediate impact. His main roster debut, interrupting John Cena, no less, was the stuff of legends. As Owens shared the story, he emphasized that Austin's role wasn't just about opening the door, it was about instilling confidence. "It wasn't just about the phone call," Owens explained. "It was about hearing those words from someone like him. I already believed in myself, but hearing it from Stone Cold lit a fire in me. It made me work even harder." Their bond didn't end there. Owens revealed that over the years, he and Austin have kept in touch, exchanging messages of support and occasionally catching up at WWE events. Their respect for each other culminated in a dream moment at WrestleMania 38, when Owens found himself face-to-face, and eventually flat on his back, after taking a thunderous Stone Cold Stunner. "I wouldn't change that for anything," Owens said, grinning. "To share the ring with the guy who helped get me here? To take a stunner on the biggest stage of them all? That was the ultimate full-circle moment." As the interview wrapped, Owens took a moment to reflect on the journey, his voice filled with gratitude. "There are a lot of people I owe thanks to," he said. "My family, my coaches, my peers. But Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's the guy who took a chance on me when he didn't have to. And because of that, I'll always give him credit. Always." The WWE Universe responded with an outpouring of love for both men, recognizing the significance of Owens' heartfelt tribute. Wrestlers from across the globe chimed in, sharing stories of how a single word of encouragement, a moment of belief, can change an entire career. In a world where opportunities are rare and doors are often closed tight, Kevin Owens' story stands as a powerful reminder: all it takes is one person to believe in you, and sometimes, that person just happens to be a rattlesnake named Stone Cold Steve Austin. Kevin Owens opens up on his injuries, numbness in fingers and more. Kevin Owens has opened up on his injuries. He's talked about experiencing numbness and the different issues he was dealing with. Owens was interviewed on Insight with Chris Van Vliet. There, he talked about various issues he's been facing. This interview was likely filmed before the star found out about his neck issues, as he was not too worried about pains in his neck. Kevin Owens shared what it had been like dealing with his injuries. He was instead talking about issues he had faced with his knees. He said that given that he had spent so much of his career wrestling in the style that he had, a bit of knee pain was not a big deal compared to what it could have been. "I feel like I should feel way worse than I do physically for somebody who's done this for so long. Of course, there's been injuries here and there throughout the years, but I feel pretty good. You know, I wake up in the morning and maybe I'm a little sore, my back sometimes, my neck a little bit. My knees, not great, but man, for all the stuff I've done in the style of wrestling for so long, to have a bit of knee pain? It's not that big a deal." 4:35 to 5:05. He went on to talk about how sitting on planes affected him. Kevin Owens said that for a lot of WWE stars and wrestlers, sitting on a plane would be something that would make a lot of wrestlers experience pins and needles, and he was no different. He said that he would have numbness in his hands and his fingers. "You sit on a plane for 5-6 hours, your back will hurt, stuff like that. I'll get maybe numbness in my fingers and hands from just like my elbows being like this, but you just shake it off. That's a common thing for wrestlers too, from just sitting on a plane for too long, you'll get pins and needles." 5:10 to 5:30. Kevin Owens is getting neck surgery for his injuries and had to withdraw from his WrestleMania match against Randy Orton. In a few more weeks, there should be more updates on the star's condition. In a candid and deeply personal revelation that has sent ripples through the wrestling world, Kevin Owens, the prize fighter himself, has pulled back the curtain on the brutal physical toll that years in the ring have taken on his body. Known for his fearless style and no-quit attitude, Owens has never been one to shy away from a fight. But this time, the battle he's facing is one far away from the bright lights and roaring crowds. It's a battle with his own body. Speaking openly on a recent podcast appearance, Owens admitted what many fans had feared but few truly understood. "There are mornings I wake up and my fingers are numb," he confessed, his voice carrying both frustration and a trace of vulnerability. "Not just tingling, full-on numb. It's a weird feeling when you try to pick up your coffee mug, and you can't feel it." For Owens, this isn't just an occasional annoyance. The numbness, which doctors believe is a symptom of nerve compression in his neck and upper spine, has become an almost daily reminder of the punishment he has absorbed over his career. From taking hard bumps off ladders to brutal apron powerbombs, many of them self-inflicted risks in the name of entertainment, Owens admits he's paying the price. "This job, man, it's beautiful and brutal all at once," Owens reflected. "I love it more than anything. But sometimes, when the adrenaline fades, you realize what it's really done to you." Owens has long been a symbol of resilience in the WWE. From the moment he burst onto the main roster scene in 2015, powerbombing John Cena with ruthless precision, he's been a workhorse, carrying programs, stealing shows, and throwing himself into every match with reckless passion. But that style, high impact and high risk, has exacted a steep toll. "It's not just the fingers," Owens continued, revealing that the nerve issues have occasionally caused discomfort in his shoulders and neck as well. "Some nights after a show, I'll lie in bed and feel this burning, almost like pins and needles, crawling up my arms. It's a reminder, every bump matters." Medical experts describe this as a likely form of cervical radiculopathy, essentially, pinched nerves in the neck that send misfiring signals down the arms and into the hands. It's not an uncommon condition for athletes in physically demanding sports, particularly those involving repeated trauma and heavy impacts. Yet, what's truly remarkable is how Owens has continued to perform at an elite level, often without betraying a hint of the pain he's been enduring. "I've always prided myself on pushing through," he admitted. "Fans come to see a show, to escape their own problems, and I never wanted mine to be front and center. But I also think it's important now to be real about it. Especially for the younger guys and girls coming up in the business. Take care of your body. Listen to it when it's screaming at you." Owens' revelation has sparked an outpouring of support from fans and fellow wrestlers alike. Sami Zayn, Owens' longtime friend and rival, took to social media shortly after the interview aired. "Kevin's toughness is unmatched," Zayn wrote. "He's been carrying battles inside the ring and out, and never once has he let it slow him down. Proud to call him my brother." Behind the scenes, sources within WWE say there is a growing internal conversation about how to better support talent dealing with chronic injuries. Owens has reportedly been working closely with WWE's medical team, engaging in targeted physical therapy and exploring non-surgical options to manage his nerve issues. "Surgery," he revealed, "remains a last resort. I'd be lying if I said the word retirement hasn't crossed my mind at times," Owens confessed, his candor both sobering and admirable. "But every time it does, I think about the moments I still want to create. I think about my kids, sitting ringside, watching their dad do what he loves. That's what keeps me going." There is an undeniable grit to Owens' story, the same grit that made fans fall in love with him in the first place. He is not the chiseled archetype of a sports entertainer, but a relatable warrior, embodying the spirit of perseverance against all odds. Whether he's headlining WrestleMania or battling through smaller house shows, he brings the same intensity, the same raw passion. And it's clear Owens isn't finished yet. Looking ahead, he teased that he still has a few things left to check off the bucket list. Chief among them, a dream program with some of WWE's rising stars, and perhaps, one more run with championship gold. "I've been lucky," Owens said, a faint smile crossing his face. "I've done things in this business that I only dreamed about as a kid. And if this ride ends tomorrow, I have no regrets. But I know, there's still more story to tell." As for his message to fans, Owens, ever the straight shooter, kept it simple. "Appreciate the moments. Appreciate the people who give you everything they've got, every time they step between those ropes. Because trust me, we feel it. Even through the numbness, we feel it." In a world where larger-than-life characters often mask their human frailties, Kevin Owens' honesty is a breath of fresh air. He has reminded us all that even the toughest warriors carry hidden wounds, but it is their courage to fight on, in spite of them, that truly makes them champions.